All right. So this is season 1, episode 1. I'm Chris, and this is
Doug.
All right. Today we're talking about this. We're talking about things that are fun. If I keep kicking this camera, you'll see me shaking up and down like a bobblehead. What are we talking about today? Branding on a broke budget, champagne taste. I have
ramen style.
And ramen noodle wallet. Champagne taste, ramen noodle wallet. How to look like $1 million when all you got in your business bank account is $12.47. I've been there. Doug hasn't.
Whatever.
He hasn't.
I'm still there.
We're giving tips today on how to look like $1 million when you're starting a business out. A lot of fun for he and I to get together. We're missing 2 team members, actually 3. We're trying to get Mariah in here eventually, but we're leading off the
trying to kick it off
here on the batting cage with the 2 of us talking smack to each other and giving you tips. Hopefully it helps today. So the goal is to do number 1, fun. Number 2, give you tips. Number 3, it's just me and Doug talking. So
that's it.
First things first, branding. You don't have to have $1 million camera like Doug or $1 million cameras.
But that's all it takes, right? They just say, "Oh man, what kind of camera do you have? That's great." You don't worry about f-stop, shutter speed, ISO. Don't just buy the camera.
True facts. You can use your phone. And so if you're starting a business and you're thinking like, hey, I need to do branding, I've got to hire a company, I'm going to call Kingdom Media and spend way too much money, I'm going to go even more broke. There's unnecessary to do that. It's just really establishing your presence and getting content out there and using free resources like Canva, a bunch of trial software. Doug knows I'm a tech
So many.
Google tools, because Google works. That's true.
It's a weekly introduction to new apps and programs.
What is Chris making us look at this today? So if you're a business and you're starting out and you're thinking, number 1, need a name. Number 2, you need a logo and a style. And just as Doug always teaches me, just serious Chris Turner face, just be yourself. Doug you've been the expert of starting really solid businesses in a really good way. We'll talk about a couple of them in this podcast. But when it comes to really just taking your branding to the next level and not spending a lot of money on it before you hire an agency, just be deliberate about what you look, feel, sound. A couple of tips from you, Doug. Like, what's the first thing you would think to do if you're starting off a business and you're just overwhelmed with all the choices you have to make? What's one of the first things you do?
Short-term, mid-term, long-term goals. Sometimes it's hard to try and think about the end goals. It gets too mushy and too distracting. You just try and make some short-term goals.
Doing content. You've heard, you and I have talked about it a lot to a lot of the clients we have at Kingdom Media. Is just produce content. Don't really worry about it being polished, kind of like this podcast. Just do it. Submit the document.
Presence.
Put it out there. You're big on colors. You're big on how it looks because you're a professional camera person. I get it. A couple of tips. Give us a couple, because you take. You're going to be humble guy today, but you take baller photos and video of live action sport. If I had my phone, I'm starting my business. A couple of tips about composition or framing or lighting or just something simple that everybody can go. You don't need a Canon. You don't need a Nikon. You don't need prime lenses. What do we do?
Composition is everything. Even color, forget about all that. In time, obviously that's great, but to me, composition is everything. You could show 5 people the same photo and everybody sees something a little bit different, but composition is absolutely everything in a photo to me. That is the most important.
And when you talk about composition, like the framing of it, like right now we're sitting pretty wide because we're doing a podcast, and the vertical aspect of it, the horizontal aspect of it. If you're lost in even the terms that you were talking about now, it's just sometimes what looks really good. And using this device, which is
a cell phone is so underrated for photos and video.
Probably the best camera most people have in their pocket right now is this one right here.
And you can learn photography simply with a camera. There's so many settings in here that you can go through. You can learn f-stop and shutter speed. You can learn a lot of that stuff just looking at the options with your cell phone.
even with $12.47, you do need to write down a couple of things. And here's my suggestion, my contribution to anyone who's starting out. Hey, I'm doing my business. There's so many overwhelming things. I need to hire someone. Start with what you like, writing down your style guide. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can just be words or notes. And with my thumbs up. Yeah. Words or notes on this device. What do you need to write down? The style guide is what's your colors, what's your preferred font, and be consistent about it. What do you want to look like? Are you a blues person? Are you a greens person? And how does your business feel? There's color science to it. We won't get nerdy about it. But anytime you dive into the red hemisphere and everything you have is red, just need to know what looks good. Another one is what attracts people. Even though your favorite color may be chartreuse or bright pink, even though your favorite color may be cadmium yellow, we have a business and a brand we've been working on that has yellow in it. That yellow is an attractor, and it fits the brand of what Doug and I have been working on. But just be consistent and write those down, because you're going to end up having to give those to someone like Doug or myself or Mariah or Paul or Sierra, and we're going to use those colors to develop an even further brand or style guide. So it's pretty simple. Jot them down, take pictures, have a Pinterest, take a couple of photos and go, hey, this is what my style is all about. And it doesn't take much money. Huh?
That's one of your finds, Pinterest, of course.
Pinterest. You're not a Pinterest user?
A lot of.
Doug, do you have a Pinterest?
I do have a Pinterest.
You can be a man and have Pinterest.
You told me to get a Pinterest.
What? All right. Real quick question. What it's like? Do you have a Pinterest board of like food? What does Doug,
everything,
the man's man, have in his Pinterest?
Food, house, clothing, beard stuff. Shocking.
Beard oils? Like you have beard stuff in your Pinterest?
Yeah. There's beard oil stuff. There's, oh man, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff. I'd have to even look.
We won't give it away, because if people are actually going to watch this and they're like,
we'll make them
this
look
guy on Pinterest. What's his Pinterest handle?
Yeah, Pinterest is great.
Okay.
Super
what other tools
research.
do you have in your toolbox when you started your business? Like when you think of the several you started, you've been a property developer. Just thinking of the EIN, all the things that we're not going to go into today, are like the EIN number, establishing your LLC. That's people can get that. But what are some off tips that you think, man, now that I'm looking back, now that I've done a couple of these, I wish I'd have known this sooner for tools?
There's so many, I wouldn't even know where to start. But like they say, if you got to do something, regardless of whether or not it's the right move. You got to do something, take action. And what is it? Alex Hormozy says most people, the people that change it 3 or 4 times are so much further ahead, even though they've had to change it, than the people who sat and waited for it to be just perfect. You're just so much further ahead because you've taken action. So
bravo. That's probably the comment of this episode 1, when we're just kicking it off with ourselves, is just, you gotta, as you've always shown me, you gotta do something. Move the bucket, move the ball forward.
Even if it's wrong, at least that's not the direction you need to go from here. Change it up.
That's true, because Hormozy, as much as we're fans, he is absolute. Just, you have to move forward. You have to do something, even if it's like you just said, even if it's wrong. Probably, I think I've already mentioned it, but Canva. I wasn't, we're old Adobe folks, and using the Adobe product, we're leaning into a different realm. But my go-to freemium tool that I wish I knew ahead of time, that has turned into something pretty spectacular, is Canva. Most professional designers balk at that. Like, I'm a Figma person, or I'm an Affinity designer person. Well, Canva really gets the job done. It gets the job done, and it's easy for people to tackle.
It's a pretty easy platform.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's an easy platform. There's a lot of sharing going on. You don't have to, the free version. Free version is great. Another free tool, Figma, if you want to go, if you have some design skill and you want to use it. We use frame.io for just collecting resources. The free version will kind of limp you along and get you there. A lot of the tools that we're mentioning, the freeware will get you where you need to be. Doug, one you haven't been exposed to yet, but one I'm a fan of, and we haven't really turned on at Kingdom Media, is Milanote, MILA. Milanote. It's kind of Canva meets Dropbox meets everything else. And the one that Doug turned me on to, that I knew of back in the day, was Dropbox. Doug's a Dropbox superstar.
I'm a Dropbox fan.
You're a Dropbox.
Everything goes to Dropbox.
Everything's free. And then scalability, we can talk about that later, but it's one of those things where don't get I have a bad habit, and Doug has been helpful to me, where I get bogged down in, hey, if we start this Dropbox tool now, we won't be able to scale out when we're flying on a jet plane somewhere, and we've got 10 photographers and videographers. That is the biggest hindrance for me, where I bog myself down, probably just like a new business person. You overthink everything. And like Doug just said, you're not making incremental progress going forward. So probably my biggest
Well,
tip
and
for you.
that kind of goes with, some equipment too, in a sense that it's kind of the buy once, cry once type of program. Not that you don't buy a lot upgrading electronics, but the second that you go cheap, buy cheap lenses, buy cheap camera bodies, buy cheap monitors, it is not going to be very long until you're using those to their extent of their capabilities, and you're like, man, I got to upgrade again. So I've wasted a lot of money on some cheap stuff, and then finally you just get to the point where you bite the bullet and buy some good stuff. Quality lenses last long time. I mean, they for sure last much, much longer than camera bodies. So those are great purchases.
Two of your favorite, well, I'll back up. I won't say favorite. So before we go into the little funsy segment that you and I always joke to each other about when it has to do with email, but before we do that, starting out a business, if you had to pick 1, 2, or 3 social media platforms, what would you, Doug? I'm really curious to see what you say about this one. Which social media platform would you suggest a new
This
business
is a
owner
super
start?
easy question.
Yeah.
Super easy question. And I tell you why. It depends what kind of age demographic that you're trying to target. Super easy.
Man.
I mean,
Doug,
I'm like an old guy, so Facebook is a great, powerful tool. If you're trying to reach that demographic. If not, I mean, if you want the young kids, that TikTok or, I mean, I think that, I don't know, sounds good to me anyway.
What business shouldn't start a TikTok? It's a trick question, and it's not a right answer. You and I get that a couple of times. It from a lot of, well, we won't give the one of the first potential clients we had in the camping space. We had conversations with about, oh man, I don't want to do TikToks just for the kids. And then because it's a brand, because it was a corporate brand, the difficulty in convincing someone, well, there is a space for TikTok. If you're scared of it and you think it's a foreign entity, we'll leave that out for just a second. But everybody, like you just said, they're afraid of Instagram is not my niche. LinkedIn's too professional. I can't produce my stuff. I was going to ask you, like, what type of business or large business should be on or not be on? I'll pick one, TikTok. If you were a business, would you go all in on all the socials and leave TikTok out? Or are you hey, do them all?
Man, I don't know. I think it's going to be situational. It'd be great to do them all the time. Man, it is incredibly overwhelming for a business to try and cover all the different social platforms consistently.
It's like we planned this conversation because you fell right into what I was hoping you were going to say. If you do them all and you're just starting out, should you pick one and be amazing at it, or should you go all in and go for saturation? I don't have an answer to that, but
I don't know. I think again, you kind of got to understand what your goals are, but it is incredibly overwhelming. I would probably think of going toward the platforms that you can, where the connectivity between several different programs exists. So if that's Facebook or Instagram, obviously there's cross posting capabilities between those. You got an extra opportunity to go across 2 different platforms more simply than, those platforms don't extend to TikTok.
Which one do you like? Which one's your favorite? I think I know.
I like Instagram, but Facebook's still a close second for me, I suppose.
We've jumped at Kingdom Media Co, by the way. So if you're at Kingdom Media Co for most of our, I think almost all of our platforms, if you want to see the content we're putting out this year, and even the year in 2022. Oh my gosh, we started in 2022. I just realized that. Whoa. So
23.
23, that's right, 23.
It was the end of 22, right? Freshly into 23.
Yep. So point being, TikTok we leaned into fairly heavy, and it has some great return for us, especially the space we're in. We're outdoor adventure, and a couple
this
of things
year has been incredible for us on TikTok.
By the way, little personal kingdom ad. What happened to us this year at Leadville and our mini documentary? 2 seconds on that. Go.
I got a box out in the garage.
What? They came in
today.
Yes. What are you talking about? You got to tell everybody what you're talking about.
So we won. We submitted our mini docu piece in Leadville, Colorado. Ski joring. It was a new event to us. Obviously, it's been around quite a while for them, but essentially we found it as a fantastic connection between fashion, extreme sports, Little Wild West rodeo, and lots of people. We were told shortly after this event this year that I think they said they had, 25,000? Was that right?
Yeah.
25,000 people
Pretty big
Saturday and
crowd for
Sunday.
horses and skis
That was
going down Main Street.
the most people that they've had on a weekend in that town since the 1880s. So it was a pretty incredible attendance this year. Anyway, we did a mini documentary and submitted it to the Telly Awards. And of 13,600 entries, we were shortlisted to the top 100. And with competition like New England Patriots, JP Morgan, Walmart, NASA, had some real deep pockets and some incredible talent. We won the People's Telly Awards, so ended up with 2 golds and a silver award. So it was really cool. We were very fortunate to have some unbelievable interviewees and a really cool storyline. So,
as you've always said, it is not us. It is not the photographer, videographers. It is not the cinema people we have. It's the people who are in front of the camera that we are capturing.
We just get lucky to tell super cool stories.
Man, 100%. Like I was mesmerized, and sometimes I forgot we were actually filming because just listening to some of the things they were telling in history. That's why I'm
distracted to remember that you got a camera in your hand.
I was like, wait a minute,
you're looking at it and you're like,
whoops. Can you stop? Wait, can you repeat that again? We cannot miss this. Sorry, I'm hitting the microphone. I got so excited. Leadville. Oh my gosh, Duffy, if you ever see this portion of this very long-winded podcast we're in right now, hope you call us back. I had a blast. Even at 10,000, I was trying to breathe air.
Yeah, it was rough. 10,200 feet. Bending over to tie your shoes. I'm like, whew, this is going to be a rough one. Yeah.
How do people live up here? This is crazy bonkers. So,
and I mean, to me, Leadville's super cool. I mean, gold medal fisheries on the Arkansas River that goes right through Leadville. You got snow skiing. What's the run that they have? The mountain. It's called the 100 or something like that.
The 100. And forgive me, Leadville, if you're watching. Anybody there? Anybody associated with it? We were just fascinated with your region, your state, your location. I love because that's Western United States. I'm been to Wyoming, been to Utah, been there. Colorado is just a gem of a spot, man. Especially
truly a mecca of active adventure.
That's outdoor, all things. North Carolina, Missouri, we have our outdoors, but it's just going to that portion of the country where the elevation changes, the air is different, the people are just beautiful and different, and being able to capture them and put them on film, very fortunate. We're just blessed in all the good ways. So
yeah, we were taken in with open arms that weekend. So anybody and all the small businesses in town, man, it was super cool.
I don't think you can hear it, but it's we're filming this right around July 4th. Behind this wall, a bunch of fireworks. This microphone's pretty decent, and I'm hoping it's not picking up the cannonballs that are going on outside behind my ear. But if it is,
I'm not hearing it on my end. But
China's
give it a couple more minutes. You're an hour ahead of me. So
China's not coming yet, but they're dropping them. They're sending the take that, Britain. You have to work tomorrow. We don't.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a bunch of British friends. I was like, hey, how was work yesterday? Because I was off. All right, real fast. So there's a segment that I joke about doing that I'm tickled. Doug might not be as passionate about it as I am. The segment is called, I call it, I've done it before, just joking around with friends and family, is this could have been an email. And I'll start off. And Doug, I'll give you a chance to think of one. I'll give one, you give one, and we'll jump back into wrapping up what we were doing about the subject about branding. But this segment is, this could have been an email. And hopefully as we grow this podcast, people will submit, hey, I got one for you. This could have been an email. And they'll give me an example. Mine, one easy one, I'll give two. One is a really simple one. They're like, oh yeah, absolutely. And the other one is a former life that you and I used to have.
I'm not even going to give mine. I just like your story the best. We'll leave it at that one.
So this could have been an email. You got to give one. This could have been an email. So it was a 2-hour meeting that we all got called into on cleanliness of the break room. I did a thumbs up. It was thumbs down. It was 100% thumbs down. Not as funny as the second one, but it was a definite, like, we're sitting in here for 2 hours as someone berates and has a conversation with all 45 of us about microwave cleanliness, don't burn the popcorn, the coffee could be this. It's like policies on slides. And literally, I was working at a university then. I was working at East Carolina University, and it was a 2-hour presentation on break room sanitation. I kid you not. So popcorn, coffee maker, refrigerator, OSHA booklet on the side, MSDS sheets as well. If you're in that world, you know what I'm talking about. All on break room cleanliness, which could have been an email. I want the time back. The air that I had to breathe in that room, I want that back as well.
It must be something about break rooms and refreshment stations, vending machines, that type of stuff. I think everybody's had one of those.
This could have been an email, not a meeting, to talk about Tina and her tuna that she brings in every day to make the break room smell like fish.
There's
Or
somebody
Ricky,
that uses that space very consistently as if
right?
it's the one.
Or Ricky and his ratatouille that makes the whole thing smell like scallops. And you're just like, bro, just send an email. I don't need the 2-hour meeting. All right. Do you have one?
No, this is good. I love this. This is fantastic.
Oh.
You got to tell your other one.
All right, my last one. My last one on this could have been an email segment to wrap it up, because next time I know Mariah's got like 50. She's got to have
She's got a
drop
handful.
bombs on this one. So my last one, not me by the way, when I tell this. So the other career that some of us have been involved in before, but being both you and I, we got called into a meeting, very serious meeting by the way, because it's a law enforcement career. I used to be a police officer back in the day, which is why I had the bald head. We got called into a meeting because someone left their firearm in the bathroom. This could have been an email. True. For all of us to get lectured that the person will remain nameless, because I hope he is not watching, that Ralph
John.
left his gun belt in, and excuse my language because I know we're going to probably post this on YouTube. He left it in the old stall there. Someone walks in. That someone happened to be the deputy chief, who picked up said firearm and said, let's run this serial number and find out which one of our fine law enforcement officers left.
So how long do you think it was before he figured out that he was missing something?
Everybody got called. I mean, it was days. I'm talking about 300 in this department, by the way. I won't name the department because I do not want to get in trouble. So pretty large city, somewhere in the state in the Southeast. Everybody called it. I'm talking all hands, because Ralph left his firearm, and I want to say the S word, but I'm not, in the pooper. So that definitely could have been an email, but I understand the passion. So just there you go. That was this segment of this could have been an email. If you got one to top that,
I dare you.
Send us a note and some comments and go, hey, next time you knuckleheads get on a podcast, I got one for you. This could have been an email. All right. Last 10 minutes for you and I, like, just start laughing at each other. Champagne. You got champagne dreams for branding. Give us some good tips on ramen noodle budget. You got $12.47 in your business account. What's some hot takes that you can use? My first one coming to you, Doug, and as I volley back over to you, as you think about it for a second, is ask. My biggest one is just ask a media company for free. I know people they're very humble. If you're starting a business, do not hesitate to call on a media company and ask them, hey, could you guys potentially do a style guide, and I'll barter and trade you for whatever you're selling. If you're doing lighting or pool cleaning or any other business, probably my biggest tip of today, you find there's a bajillion media companies and agencies and advertising groups. If you just call somebody on the phone, establish a relationship and go, hey, can I trade you my service for a style guide or a logo? I'm confident you'll get a heavier return rather than trying to shell out money. But that's the part, is you got to break your habit of just going, I really just don't want to ask. If you ask, you're giving something back. You're giving your service, whatever you're starting.
Again, most people just won't do anything.
Right. That's probably my biggest tip today. I've learned so much by just doing that. Plus, here's one for you. Here's a bonus tip after that. If you ask that advertising or that media company, if you called Kingdom Media and said, hey, I'm just starting out. Can you guys crash a logo for me? Here's my thoughts. I'll trade you XYZ. You're also establishing a rapport and relationship, and you never know what comes from that. On you, Doug. Give us a tip.
Yeah. No, and same kind of same basis kind of we're discussing as far as photography or video work. You know, people are afraid to start and dig in and try and just mess it up. Probably the most valuable thing that I did for myself in my journey of learning photo, and I still have a lot to learn, but in my journey of learning photo or video work was the discipline of making certain I started learning in manual. Forget about the fact that you've got an auto button on your camera. because when something goes wrong and you forget you don't, or when something goes wrong and you don't know how to fix it, you just simply won't know how to fix it. Yeah, it'll be rough for a little while trying to learn in manual mode, but you know everything about your camera. It will pay off in the long run. Super, super helpful. Buy yourself a cheap camera, buy yourself an expensive camera. Doesn't really matter, but forget that it has auto. Start in manual.
I'll admit, I had to learn the hard way. I started off buying a mid-tier. I won't tell you what the brand was. It wasn't Canon. A mid-level DSLR, and started like, I'm out of auto, and bought all the devices that I thought I had. And I quickly learned that what you just said is the only way to learn the device. Go to manual, learn the big three: ISO, f-stop. I'll put composition in there. It's not really the big three, but yeah. Focal point, ISO, f-stop, whole 9 yards. So if you don't know what those are, just grab a device, pick it up. If you're into the camera world, and you should be, especially if you're in a business, you don't have to have the most top tier item to take pictures. But again, even this device has ISO, f-stop, white balance, whole 9 yards. And if you don't know what they are, guess what? YouTube, the number 2 search engine in the world, can teach you everything.
You can learn everything on YouTube.
Everything on YouTube. We're going to try to do this more frequently. This is season 1, episode 1. We're going to try to get most of the team on here. I'm a little scared if we get all 4 of us, 5 of us in this one, but we'll be talking over top of each other, but we're just going to have a good time. Hopefully some of the tips we have, we'll try to keep it under 20 minutes. That's about all I can take on a podcast anyway. We'll chop some of these up into short form, but hopefully something we give that we've learned helps you in your business. And I always enjoy when I get that guy right there. To me, he's right here. I always get that guy and us talking. I always learn really cool things. He's too humble about his camera skills, but every time he picks up a device, I learn something new from you, brother. And I'm thankful to be doing Kingdom Media with you.
We wouldn't be doing this stuff, this techie computer stuff, if it wasn't for you. So we're even.
Hey, we want pictures. Kingdom Media, where can we find them?
On our website. Oh, our current upload stash is going to Zeno, ZNO.
Yeah. So I think it's on the Kingdom Media, kingdommediacompany.com. There's a thing that's called shop, and in shop, there's a little banner that has prints. Doug and team and Mariah take some baller shots. Doug, where did you go last weekend? Where was Kingdom at last weekend?
Last weekend was Big Bend, Wisconsin. We went next level pro bull riding in the Tough Hedeman Midwest Swing Series. Big Bend, Wisconsin is a new site this year. So Elkhorn, Wisconsin is a past site, really kind of close to there, but incredible arena. They had tons and tons of people unexpectedly showed up this year. There was standing room only. It was a great venue. So
go ahead, next level. Go get it. Get it, Matt Noble.
J&A branded. Anna Jacobs, Jason Jacobs. They had a great turnout. So they were really, really thrilled. Fantastic.
Jacobs family doing big things. That's so cool. If you want something large to put on your wall, if you want prints, the tool we've chosen to use for Kingdom Media will actually, you pick your print, it'll come right to your doorstep. You can order it. We capture, we place it there. It's yours to have if you purchase it. If you want a digital download, if you want to go to Staples and have it printed, if you want to go to Michael's, that's fine. But through a company called Zeno, you don't have to memorize that. You just go to kingdommediacompany.com, click on shop and prints, and you can see all the amazing stuff. We've got a lot of legacy stuff in there as well. A lot of the eye capture that Doug has had in his adventures and all the good ways. And we're absolutely going to put some Mariah stuff on there too. She is a fantastic still photographer and a motion videographer as well. Trying to get a couple of her items on there. There's some stuff that she does. I'm like, I got to have that. From dirt bikes to boats. We're all in the outdoor adventure space. So check it out. Not really a sales pitch from us. We're just proud of what our crew does, and we want to show it off and share it with you.
Yeah, just go take a look. It's fun stuff. It's adventure. It's stuff that drives us to keep.
There's some bull shots. There's some I don't know how Doug and others do it. I don't know how you get your camera that close to a bull's nose and not get stomped. Don't give this. Yeah. I mean, oh, okay. Tracking injury.
There's a little bit of bullshit right there. It happens.
Gotcha. 100%. So check it out, kingdommediacompany.com. You can go to the prints. We're running about 33 minutes right here. I think we've given enough today. Season 1, episode 1. Hope we give you some good tips. I'm Chris. That's Doug. Good times. Until next time. See you guys. Out.